On the morning of May 9th, 2025, off the pirate-infested coast of Somalia, an assault straight out of a Hollywood action movie unfolded in mere minutes. In less than 180 seconds, over 600 rounds of automatic fire tore into the deck of the American-flagged cargo ship MV Redwood Star. 5 pirate skiffs, speeding at 45 knots, carried 30 Somali gunmen armed with AK-47s, PK machine guns, and RPGs. They unleashed a barrage of bullets, targeting cargo stacks and prying open reinforced steel gates, assuming they were just minutes away from hijacking a ship and holding its crew hostage. But what the pirates didn't realize was that 412 nautical miles away, the USS Independence, a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier, was already on high alert. As the boats surged forward and the attack intensified, drones, Apache helicopters, and elite strike teams were already mobilizing from above, ready to unleash a counterstrike the pirates would never forget. This wasn't just an ambush. It was the beginning of a rapid and merciless retaliation that would rewrite the rules of naval engagement in those waters forever. The pirates had taken the deck, but not the ship. Below the surface, inside a fortified steel citadel, the captain of the Redwood Star gripped the radio microphone. His voice was calm but urgent. "Mayday, this is Redwood Star, under siege, crew secure, awaiting your justice." The message was short, but enough. Far away aboard the USS Independence, the distress signal triggered immediate action. 3 Seahawk helicopters with door-mounted miniguns lifted off first, followed by 2 Apache gunships armed to the teeth. Then came the real strike force, 3 Blackhawks carrying nearly 50 elite Navy SEALs and Marine Raiders. Their mission: retake the ship, eliminate the threat, bring everyone home. Above the waves, drones scanned the ship, revealing thermal images of the trapped crew and moving pirates. The order came from the admiral: launch all assets, no delay. Those are our people. The brutal firefight that erupted on the Redwood Star's deck wasn't just chaos, it was a desperate defense. With bullets slicing through rigging and pinging off steel, the crew, armed only with outdated shotguns and a few semi-automatic rifles, stood their ground. From behind bulkheads and cargo crates, they returned fire in bursts, trying to buy time. But the pirates were organized and ruthless. They fanned out in tight formation, their machine guns laying down a storm of suppressive fire, forcing the defenders back step by step. One crewman was hit in the shoulder and thrown into a lifeboat cradle. Another dodged death by inches as gunfire shredded the crate he had just crouched behind. Realizing they were hopelessly outgunned, the captain issued the order to retreat. The crew dragged their wounded below deck and sealed themselves inside the ship's fortified citadel, a steel-walled room with oxygen systems and satellite beacons, built for exactly this nightmare. Above them, the pirates boarded, certain of their victory. But down below, the captain whispered a final message into the radio: "Mayday, crew secure, awaiting your justice." From the moment the distress signal reached the USS Independence, a calculated and powerful response was set in motion. Signal, brief but urgent, spoke volumes. The crew was secure in the Citadel. But pirates now ruled the upper deck. There was no time to waste. Within minutes, the carrier's deck was buzzing with coordinated activity. 3 MH-60 Seahawk helicopters armed with miniguns were first to launch, tasked with locating the Redwood Star. Right behind them, 2 Apache gunships lifted off, ready to provide overwhelming fire support if needed. Then came the heavy hitters: 3 Blackhawk helicopters, each loaded with elite Navy SEALs and Marine Raiders, geared up for direct confrontation. Inside the command center of the carrier, tension was thick. Infrared drones scanned the ship, confirming heat signatures within the citadel. They were still alive, but the pirates were closing in fast. The order came from the admiral, crisp and commanding: launch all assets, no delays, We bring them home. It was a moment of resolve, of American precision and commitment, preparing to clash with chaos. Realizing they were outgunned and outnumbered, the captain of the MV Redwood Star made a desperate choice: retreat and lock down. He ordered his crew to fall back into the reinforced Citadel, a steel fortified room deep within the ship. There, with emergency oxygen and satellite communications, they waited, silent, while pirates stormed the upper decks, thinking they had won. The pirates celebrated too soon. Beneath their boots, the ship's crew was safe, and more importantly, transmitting a final coded message to the U.S. Navy. Mayday, this is Redwood Star, under siege, crew secure, awaiting your justice. It was not a call for help. It was a signal that the trap had been sprung. The pirates weren't the hunters anymore. They were the hunted. And soon, they would understand just how big a mistake they had made. The moment the helicopters hit the air above the Redwood Star, chaos erupted. Pirates scrambled across the deck, some trying to shoot skyward, others diving for cover. The lead Seahawk helicopter fired twin miniguns, spraying thousands of rounds in under a minute. Steel containers were shredded, and makeshift barricades disintegrated under the hail of bullets. Stunned, the pirates were quickly overwhelmed as Apaches joined the assault. One RPG-wielding pirate was cut down mid-step by a 30mm chain gun. Explosions ripped through the starboard cranes as Apache rockets struck hard. Then the Blackhawks descended, and elite commandos fast-roped onto the deck. They moved like shadows, forming tight formations and taking precise shots. In 6 minutes, 8 pirates lay dead. 4 surrendered in terror. The deck was secure. No American casualties. The tide had turned. As the helicopters thundered toward the MV Redwood Star, the trapped crew below held their breath. Inside the Citadel, behind hardened steel doors, emergency oxygen hissed softly as men gripped radios and sidearms, hoping help would come in time. They could hear the pirates stomping on the deck, shouting orders and firing erratic shots into the air. Just when it seemed the pirates might breach the Citadel, salvation descended from the skies. The first MH-60 Seahawk helicopter swept in, its twin miniguns spitting over 2,000 rounds a minute. The steel rain tore through the pirates' positions, scattering them like startled birds. Some dove behind cargo stacks, others were hit before they could react. Then came the Apaches, hovering low with their hydro rockets and 30mm cannons. A pirate trying to rally his men was obliterated by a chain gun burst. Moments later, 3 Blackhawks arrived, ropes uncoiled, and elite Navy SEALs rappelled onto the deck with lethal precision. This was more than just a pirate attack. It was a direct challenge to American power, and the Navy responded with absolute resolve. The thermal cameras aboard surveillance drones confirmed a chilling reality. Dozens of armed pirates were still prowling the deck, searching for a way to breach the Citadel where the crew was hiding. They believed the ship was theirs, but beneath their feet the crew had secured themselves in a fortified chamber lined with steel and emergency systems. And hundreds of miles away, American steel and fury were closing in. The USS Independence had already launched its strike team. Drones, Apaches, and Blackhawks, each loaded with elite warriors. This was not a negotiation. This was the final countdown to justice. The American response was already in motion, but inside the MV Redwood Star, the situation grew increasingly desperate. The pirates, emboldened by their apparent victory, spread across the deck. They kicked open storage compartments, looted containers, and banged on the steel-reinforced Citadel doors. Inside, 23 crew members held their breath, listening to each bootstep, each scream, and each explosion above. Time was running out. The steel walls would not hold forever. Then, a miracle in rotor blades arrived. At exactly 8:12 a.m., the first Seahawk helicopter swooped down over the cargo vessel. Its side gunners opened fire with twin AH-17 miniguns, shredding through pirate positions. The pirates scattered and panicked, some diving for cover, others frozen in terror. Within seconds, Apaches joined the assault, hovering menacingly and firing rockets at strategic points. Pirates trying to regroup near the cranes were torn apart in a fiery blast. Then came the final blow. 3 Black Hawk helicopters descending in synchronized motion. From their ropes descended nearly 50 elite U.S. Navy SEALs and Marine Raiders. They landed with precision, formed combat wedges, and pushed forward without hesitation. In just 6 minutes, the deck was cleared. 8 pirates lay dead. 4 more surrendered trembling, their weapons cast aside. No American casualties. The crew remained safe, and the pirates? They had gone from attackers to prisoners in under 10 minutes. And that was just the beginning. There's more to this story, more battles, more heroes, and more secrets from the deep. So if you don't want to miss what happens next, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because part 2 is coming soon. This isn't just a story. This is naval history unfolding in real time.